Hi, thank you for coming. And I'm Derek Lee. I'm the founder of Squirrel AI. And I'm a serial entrepreneur. My former company went IPO'd 5 years ago in Chinese stock market, and it was 1 to 2 billion US dollars. And I started this Squirrel AI to build an AI tutor because in the company before, I have 20,000 teachers. Each year, we will recruit 8,000 new teachers because we are growing very fast. But you know, the new teachers, their teaching quality are not the same with the teacher of 10 years. So it's always been a trouble in my head. So that's why I started Squirrel AI, and I want to build AI tutors, the best of the best quality for every student. You know, the difficulty in traditional education, first is scarce of superior teachers. When I was young, even I'm in the best schools with the best teachers in my Henan province, which has 100 million populations. Still, some of the teachers will fascinate me, but others will make me sleepy in the class. And some even worse, I always got confused by them. Even I think I'm not smart enough. So if we could build an AI virtual tutor that is like a master and knowing everything, that will solve all the problems. We all know that before 10 or 20 years, the virtual tutor seems very stupid because they could only teach things by pre-programmed route. But now AI comes and it can deal with immense data. It knows the Squirrel AI tutor. It knows millions of knowledge points, and they know 100 millions of questions. So it's like a GPS. They know every spot in the city than the 10 years or 20 years experienced drivers. So the AI tutor knows much more than the best teachers. And also the second trouble in traditional education is they give every student the same content. You know, my twin boys is in the best private school in Shanghai. They always get 97 in the everyday's homework, which will take them 2 hours. That's a waste of time. They need only 10 or 20 minutes to deal with the top 10 difficult questions. That is enough. But their classmates, some of them will get 30 or 40 points in the homework. So they need more easier content. So for the AI tutors, they should know all kinds of students' profile and give different content to different students. But you know, the best teacher could do that by one-on-one teaching. And the best teachers, especially the experienced one, they teach 20 or 30 years, and they have no tens of thousands of students' profile. But Squirrel AI, by only 3 years, we have 2 million students. So think of that. The Squirrel AI is like a vampire teachers who have the experience of teaching for over 500 years. So it knows all the profile and can deal with all kinds of students. And the third trouble is in traditional education is unified learning speed. Think of in the marathon, we force every people to run at the same pace. That's ridiculous. We will lose genius because no student could run faster and faster. And the worst thing is some of the students, they could not follow the average speed, right? If in a marathon you force them to follow the average speed, they will get physically hurt. But in the class, actually, they will get mentally hurt. But we do not know or we do not care. That wound even could not heal in their whole life. So they will become another person that they don't want to be. But for the AI teachers, they will give different students different speed of learning. Even for me, I'm a smart learner and I'm always the top 10 in my grade, but still for some knowledge point, I learned very slow, much more slower than all the other students. So for different knowledge point, we need different speed for different students. And the fourth trouble is the teachers, they only have time to deal with knowledge acquisition, but not the ability of the student. So, but you know, nobody believed that AI tutors could deal with that. But our Squirrel AI is doing the critical thinking and the learning ability to really teach the student not only acquire the knowledge point, but also to gain the learning abilities for their whole life benefit. This is our adaptive engine architecture. It has 3 layers, and the first layer, we have learning map, content map, and the unique thing that our Squirrel AI has and other competitors don't have is the mistake reasoning ontology. Because sometimes we found out even the students master the knowledge point, they still do something wrong in questions or the problems or projects. So we have to find out a different mistake, the reason of their mistakes to solve that problem. And also, we give dynamic goal to each student. And the second layer is the goal management engine and the user evaluation engine and recommendation engine. And we stored every behavior of the student. And the third layer is the interface of the AI tutor and the student. So we use all kinds of methods to know more about the student. The first thing first is the learning map and the content map. Before AI tutors, we see students, only we can see their face. But now, we see in their head. We will see different students, quite different, because they are not the same. Some of the students are good at some knowledge point, but they may have different weakness. So we could only focus on the weakness of each student and give everyone personalized, customer content to learn. And also, we divided the knowledge point into very small pieces, much more smaller than other competitors. It's like the pixel of the camera. If we give 10 times the smaller of the knowledge point, we will see more clearer of the student. So we could know what they already mastered and where their weakness is. And we will save a lot of time on something they already know and focus on only the weaknesses. And also, since we divided the knowledge point into very nano-scale, and we could help the poor student, especially, to easily digest each knowledge point to get there. For example, when I was young, I'm very troubled in memorization. I remember my teachers even insulted me because I'm the last one in the class to remember the 26 letters of English. So, you know, I still try to keep up, and now I can give a speech in English. So, why this insultment? So, every student, they need special treatment, even on one letter. Also, the MCM system was built by our team, and I spent 3 years trying to let the virtual tutor to teach model thinking, the capacity, and the learning method to the student, so that they do not understand some knowledge point, they can learn the ability to learn. But you know, every time we talk about critical thinking and we talk about leadership or other things, it's very hard to teach, even for the best teachers. So how could a machine teach students such thing? So we also use the method of divide the skills and the mode of thinking into very small pieces, so that what I said, we need three things. First, define it, right? Like EQ, we could not define it. And the second thing, we could measure it. And the third thing, we could teach it. So that the machine could deal with structural things. That is a test for the most famous host in China. And we found his modeling skills are very good, and his number sense are very bad, and his geometric visualization is poor. So we divided the math skills into number sense, into exploration skills, into spatial imagination skills, inferences skills. And this is the first step. It's not clearly definable and measurable and teachable. Now we divided these skills into more than 200 skills. So when we go smaller, and we can do it. Please forgive me not showing it because it's know-how with our company. And also, we break down the method in Chinese language learning. So we have a lot of methods to solve the problem very easily, to make the, sometimes the method is like shortcuts, and sometimes it's like used for like slogans. For example, 1 year, I even lost 8 mobile phones. You know, I always lost things, but my friend tell me a method, and I solved that problem for all. And for 10 years, I never lost one phone. And this method is called 3-touch. Every time you walk through a door, you will touch your phone, touch your wallet, and touch your keys. So every time I walk in or walk out of any door, I will touch 3 things in my pocket. So you can get a lot of methods to deal with learning things more efficiently. And the second thing beside the learning map is content map in our ontology. The content map is very small videos, like 3 minutes videos of the teacher's teaching. Because 10 years before Coursera was born, I said MOOC will die. And because most of students could not concentrate for 45 minutes in the video. So I said 3 minutes is the best time for every student. And anyone who could not concentrate 3 minutes, that will be another problem, right? So we divided into very small, short ones, and also we have millions of questions that tagged with from 20 tags to 100 tags. And for the second layer, we use a state evaluation of every student and give the different recommendation to different students. It's not in the decision tree, but we explore in vast number of the knowledge point. We even jump from one knowledge point to another, by the evaluation of the learning speed and the learning ability. For example, I'm not good at the ancient Chinese, especially the small words of the ancient Chinese. So the machine will abandon such knowledge point for me, but that is maybe very easy for another student, even some poor student. So they will recommend this knowledge point to him, but not me. So they will treat different students by very small pieces of learning abilities. So we will accurately detect every kid's knowledge gaps. Before, when we started Squirrel AI, we think the best student could save 90% of the time by our evaluation, because they only learn the 10% they don't know. And the poor student can learn very easy content. But the classroom is suitable for the 80-point student, because the teachers teach in average speed, right, for the 80-point student. But later we found out that different 80-point students have different weakness. Even we found out 3 students, they always get around 80 points, but their weakness are not the same. So by that, we think no 2 students should be placed in one classroom. That's my twin boys. They're 7 years old, and even for them, their mastery knowledge point and their weakness are not the same. And they learn very fast in Squirrel AI. Now they are in grade 2, but they already nearly finished grade 4 math, and still they started learning grade 8 physics from the end of last year, and now they already finished 4 chapters. So by our data behind, we could find for some of the knowledge point, they will need 8 times of the time to fully master this than the average student level of grade 8. But for some of the knowledge point, they just need the time same with the average time. So the virtual tutor could adjust his speed for different students. So it's very efficient, and they like it very much. And also, we have real-time classifier and predictor, and from the right and wrong of the answers, the time of the answers, to a lot of other things. And we give the recommendation by the data we collect when the students learning dynamically in the real time. Yeah. Every minute, we will give different recommendation next, and also we will give dynamic goals. The goals learning goals will change according to the learning speed of the student on each knowledge point. And also, we are trying to build the dialogue-based HUI with Stanford Research Institute. We have a joint lab 2 years before, and our paper are accepted by a lot of academic conferences. And also, we have MIBA event collector. MIBA is multimodal integrated behavior analysis. We use all kinds of methods to understand the student more. And we even use a brainwave detector and to understand the concentration of the student to best give the best evaluation and the best recommendation for them. And in our system, we could find out that by only 10 students and 10 knowledge points, the time they will master the new knowledge point are different. For example, for the cube root, some students after 3 or 5 minutes teacher's video, it needs only 150 seconds to understand it. We give him 2 most difficult questions, and he got it right in the half of the average time, and he passed through to to the next knowledge point. But some students may need an hour or even 2 hours to fully understand. He will need a lot of exercise and more videos explanation, and the videos to explain the question he made wrong. So it will need a lot of times on that. And even for one student, the time he needs for different knowledge points are different. There are no bad student, fast student, and no poor student. Actually, each student are good at something and bad at others. So only 10 students, 10 knowledge points, the time they need are quite different. So we can see the classroom is how ridiculous, right? And we use this AI to build all these things, and it will evolve by themselves. For example, backward, sorry. Thank you. For example, at the beginning, the teaching expert will label the question of the difficulty levels, but soon the AI tutor, the Squirrel AI, found out that their labels are wrong. So it will override the difficulty level and even the tag of the knowledge point. But later we found out that our human teachers are doing wrong still now for hundreds of years. Because for each chapter of the textbooks, we will have key structures and a difficult point. For key structures, some of them are really useful and should have a priority of the time of learning. But for difficulty point, most of them should be abandoned because nearly no student could get the full point, right, in the exam. So different students should abandon different knowledge points. But you know, the Jack Ma, who is the founder of Alibaba, the biggest company in China, he is very poor at math. He always get 20 points in the math. And so by this AI experience, he found out that most of the time we should abandon the difficulty point because the difficulty point will take a very long time for the student to understand. It will always get the student frustrating. So sometimes it will choose some easier point, and sometimes the easier point are even more important than the difficulty point. So that's what AI is becoming smarter and smarter than any teacher in the world. And this man is my friend, and he's managing founding partner of one of the biggest fund in China. It has 20 billion RMB size, and already invested 77 IPO company. And his son got, before learning in Squirrel AI, was in the left, and after 1 year, he got 52 points higher. You know, it's, at the beginning, he could not enter the top 10 private school in Shanghai, but now he entered the top 3 private school in Shanghai. And another student is my driver's daughter. My driver failed his junior high school, and his daughter always gets 30 or 40 points out of 100. And his wife always quarreled with him because he said, you are so busy with Derek, and you go out at 6 in the morning and come back at 2 o'clock in the midnight. And you do not care about your daughter. And what should she be? She will fail the junior high school, and she could not get a job in the future. What could she do, like you, to become a driver? And AI comes and the driver disappears. So after she learned our Squirrel AI for only 2 months in the summer holiday, she got 77 points. But it's not good. It's only 77 out of 150. So it's like 50 points, only 10 points higher. But it's the biggest number, right, the girl had at that time. So it's a very happy thing for her. Only in the before 2 years, the girls get no progress. But why in only 2 months we will get 10 points higher? Because we abandon all the knowledge point she knows, and we abandon all the difficult knowledge point. We only focus on maybe 10 or 15 knowledge point to her. That is very easy to understand by her. So for other training centers, they always get all the knowledge points to all the students, but we get only 15 for her, so it's very easy for her to get 10 points higher. So at the end of the semester, she got 93 out of 150. It's not good. It's like 6, right? It's like a C. But still, it's in the semester ceremony of 4,000 students, the dean of her school give award to 3 students. She and the other two is who get 145. She's a fast learner. And at the end of the grade 9, she got all three subjects on more than 110. And she get into the best technical school, technical high school in Shanghai. It's Boeing airplane mechanics school. And after another 1 year's learning in Squirrel AI, she got top 3 in her class. And they sent the top 5 of their class, the student, to Seattle to learn for the rest 2 years. So after that, she could work in Boeing company, airplane companies. So it's a very huge change of life for this girl. And we held a lot of human-machine competition in China, and we outperformed the super teacher. Super teacher is a title the Chinese government give to the best teachers, who is 1 out of 3,000 teachers. So our Squirrel AI are teaching much more better, and we got a lot of media report, and our scientists were invited in a lot of top AI academic conferences. And also at the end of last year, we have Tom Mitchell, who is the dean of the CMU Computer Science Institute, to join us as chief AI officer. And he refused a lot of companies who is 50 times bigger than us. Even we already is a unicorn. Professor Mitchell believes that we can really make huge change in the education area, because we all want to build a super AI teacher that is as erudite as Socrates, as versatile as Da Vinci, and as intelligent as Einstein. If we could do that in 10 years, I think we could make our kids, our students, 10 times more smarter than us. Thank you.